Thank you, Jan. Welcome, and it's wonderful to be here today. We all know it's urgent. We all know it's important, because this election is different. It's significant not just for us as a nation, but for Europe as a whole, for the path it takes, for whether countries move backwards to illiberalism and nationalism or forwards in cooperation with each other to meet the immense challenges of the future. I, for one, believe that if we do not fight for what Europe has achieved, we risk losing it all. I'm optimistic. I don't believe that the younger generations will tolerate the narrowing of their horizons, the removal of their chances to share, exchange, love, study, contribute within a wider sphere than the nation, the opportunity to cooperate and fight climate change. This is not the country we are. At this election, Britain can prove to the world that it is still a country of tolerance, of honour, of legality and fairness, a country that will not stand for charlatans, that will punish them at the ballot box, punish them for their false promises. And democracy is at the heart of this. It's at the heart of the question as to where we are and what we do next. It's at the heart of the debate about our membership of the EU. How many times have we heard the complaint that the EU is but a number of faceless bureaucrats? Well, why are we having elections? The EU is an evolving democratic system, a structure that enables nations not only to maintain their sovereignty, but also to cooperate within a set of agreed rules. And within that field of cooperation, we as EU citizens have rights, and we are directly represented in the Parliament. Of course it's not perfect. It has deficiencies, but none that can't be fixed. Turning then to the referendum and our democracy, to the cry that the democracy has been betrayed, the claim that a cross in the box on the 23rd of June was somehow sacred, decisive, final. It was not. Democracy is not merely the making of a cross in a box. A real functioning democracy requires much more. Democracy is dynamic. It involves evidence, discourse, consultation, compromise. At the very, very minimum, it requires truth and legality. We've been told repeatedly that the referendum must be respected or honoured. But I ask you, how in a democracy can the result of a process replete with serious illegalities and untruths be respected or honoured? The reality about Brexit is that they promised the undeliverable and delivered the unacceptable. And now they tell us we must have it anyway. That is not democratic, and we must call them out on it. It is complete disrespect for the people, disrespect for the country, and disrespect for the future and those who will come after us. The Change UK MPs did call it out. They stepped aside at potentially great personal cost, and for that I applaud them and am honoured to work with them and with the great team of candidates we have in London. They recognised that for a democracy to function, certain values must be more important than disagreements on policy or tribal loyalties. That you cannot sit in a party that fails to tell the truth to the public, as both Labour and the Conservatives have done. That once the public are lied to, politics is broken and democracy is under threat. Who in power has told the people what they voted for? What they are losing? The fact that they will lose the right to elect the people who will make their laws for at least 2 years, likely more, the vassal state created by the withdrawal agreement. Who has told them the fact that they will lose their rights as EU citizens to live, work, set up businesses, provide and receive services, healthcare, consumer protection, study, love across 31 countries? The fact that they and their country will be poorer, weaker and less safe. The fact that our country may splinter and violence return to Ireland. Neither of the main parties has told them. I want to end with one point. The EU preserves through legally binding treaties democracy, solidarity, human rights, the rule of law. It prevents Marxism and unadulterated neoliberalism. If you read Articles 2 and 3 of the Treaty of the European Union, and if you haven't done, I urge you to do so and indeed share them, and these are legal text, they are the principles that found and underpin the EU, and I challenge anyone to disagree with them. The EU treaties guarantee us certain rights against the will and whims of politicians who exploit fear and hatred for their own gain, promising the undeliverable and delivering only the removal of opportunity for the many and creating the possibility of vast prosperity for the very, very few. There is nothing patriotic in advocating Brexit. I recognise no patriotism in irreversibly undermining your country, its institutions, and its global standing. We now must fight for our liberal democratic values and fight unapologetically, and we must explain to the young the past to which we must never return. Please help us over the next 4 weeks.